30 seconds and counting.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joel with Clutch City Entertainment, and we have some news surrounding Eric Gordon. He has recently conducted an interview with Kelly Iko of The Athletic, and in the interview, they've talked a little bit about his future with the Rockets and how that's going to be looking, and also how he sees himself in the long-term future. And with Gordon, he says that it's a tough situation for him because of the fact that he's a veteran. He's in the middle of this youth movement, and he really does want to win. A championship is one thing that Gordon has been missing in his career. He has not won a championship yet, and so he does really want to compete. But if there's one thing about Eric Gordon, it's something that you can always know, that he's going to be a professional. He's not going to put up any antics. He's not going to degrade the team. He's not going to tank his trade value or try to play bad and an effort to get traded, something like that. He is going to be a professional through it all. And for Gordon, in the present, he says that his motive and his goal is to come back from his groin injury that he suffered in the middle of last season, come back to 100% and just be ready for the beginning of the regular season. But just analyzing a little bit into what Eric Gordon has said, we're going to take a look at some potential destinations and some potential places that Eric Gordon could go, and just how it would be possible for the Rockets to offload him. Because at the end of the day, I don't think that Eric Gordon is a part of our long-term future. Again, Gordon, I believe, is entering his age 33 season. He's over 32 right now. And so obviously he doesn't fit the timeline of our franchise right now. And so you want to move him. And I think the most logical way is a trade. And I think that there are a lot of potential suitors for Eric Gordon. The Miami Heat come to mind. Again, they do still need some shooting. Yes, they did have some additions. In the offseason, Kyle Lowry will definitely help for them. Having PJ Tucker helps a lot. But I think giving Eric Gordon there as that reliable, at least when he's healthy, Eric Gordon is a very, very reliable shooter. He also brings energy on the defensive end of the ball as well, which of course fits that Heat culture and also just fits their system. Right now they have a lot of really, really good two-way players with Butler, Adebayo, Oladipo, Lowry, and now Tucker as well. So having Gordon in that mix is like their sixth man. I think that would be a really, really good fit. A lot of people are saying a return to the Clippers for Eric Gordon, which I think I can also see happening again. With Kawhi going down, I think they're going to need as much scoring help as possible and as much offensive help, and Eric Gordon definitely brings that. He can also be a pinch playmaker every once in a while. He's not the best, obviously, but we did see on many occasions with the Rockets where Gordon would be used as a sort of secondary or playmaker, at least in times where you would have James Harden or Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook, one of those guys off the floor. You would have Eric Gordon coming in and being a sort of secondary playmaker, and so that's something that you could see the Clippers using him alongside Paul George. That's a fit that I could see. I could also maybe see him going to a team like the New York Knicks. I think that's a team that can use him. I think last year, their lack of offensive output was really, really exposed in the playoffs. And this year, they did address it a little bit. Of course, they brought in Kemba Walker, and they brought in Evan Fournier. They got Quentin Grimes with the 25th pick in the draft. But I think giving Gordon as another bench piece, as that six-man role, in the backcourt, that I think really strengthens their depth, and I think that really helps them compete in the Eastern Conference a little bit more with the likes of the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets, the Miami Heat. Those three are really the big three competitors in the Eastern Conference right now, and I think Eric Gordon going there could really help out. As far as something that we would get in return, again, I want to focus right now on the Clippers and the Knicks. And with the Clippers, you're probably going to be looking at either Eric Bledsoe. I think that's the most likely option. Again, Bledsoe, if we do get him, he's not going to stay. He's more likely than not getting bought out, and he's going to be on his way to another team wherever he decides to go. Or you could be looking at something like a Luke Kennard, but I doubt that they really give up Luke Kennard for Eric Gordon. Again, if you're talking about a John Wall trade, then yes, I could see Luke Kennard being thrown into the mix just because of how big Wall's salary is. But with Eric Gordon, his salary is big, but it's still not so big that I could see them giving up Luke Kennard. I think the most likely output if a trade happens with the Clippers is that they do give up Eric Bledsoe, and then we will send Gordon. And eventually, we would buy out Eric Bledsoe. I doubt if we do get Bledsoe in a trade, he ever suits up for us. Whether this is in a trade for John Wall or Eric Gordon, I don't think that Bledsoe's ever going to suit up for us. So that doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of getting Eric Gordon's contract off the books, and that's what we're looking at here. As far as the New York Knicks goes, they actually do have a pretty good amount of cap space. And so with Gordon, I don't think that they're going to be giving up way too much in return. I think you might see them throwing in like an Alec Burks or something like that in return. But I don't really think that they're going to be giving up that much in return. The Knicks are one of those teams with a lot of cap space, even after signing Kemba Walker, even after signing Evan Fournier. They do still have some cap space on their roster right now. And so as a result of that, I think this team doesn't really have to give up that much to get Eric Gordon in return. And so the Knicks are a really, really likely destination that I could see for Eric Gordon. Now that I think of it, I think the New York Knicks would be a really, really nice fit for Eric Gordon. Looking back now a little bit more on this interview, looking through some of the quotes in this interview, Gordon says that it's, as an NBA player, that's what you play for. It's to play to win, not to be on the team, but just to be the man. It's also more fun to play on a team that's contending. Everyone goes through that phase for sure. So that's what he says. He says that they always know and that it's not easy for my position, but my ultimate goal is to go out there and play, help, and show that I'm healthy and gravitate these guys to be better. Again, you can obviously understand Gordon's sentiment here. He is an aging veteran on a rebuilding team that will more likely than not won't contend for another couple years or so. And so it makes sense that Gordon would want to go to a team where he has a better chance of winning, of competing. But I think with Gordon, even if he does stay, he is focused on, for now, on the present, and that present is with the Houston Rockets. When asked about how he fits with this team right now on the Rockets, he says that, quote, I'm for sure dependable. With me, it's not always trying to be like the star player. It's all about having a role and doing well. And I think I do well in any kind of role because I can score when we need to and defend at a high level when we need to. But with this kind of situation, you just have to go out there and just go hard and play and kind of help. That's why I always talk about the agenda is a little bit different. Usually I can go into games and expect to guard the best player every night or to score on this particular night. Now I'm in a way where I can do a lot of playmaking and also a lot more talking and leading. Again, with Wall now seeming to be out of the mix until we can find a new place for him, Eric Gordon is now kind of the primary veteran on the roster. DJ Augustine obviously is still here, but I think Gordon has a little bit more of a presence just because of how long he's been here and also just because of he has a bigger role on the team. We don't know how much minutes Augustine's going to get, if any. So Gordon, I think, is the biggest locker room presence right now as far as veterans go. And he was a part of the team trip that all the team took to the Bahamas. And so it seems pretty clear that while it seems like Gordon might be on his way out soon, he's still in the present, still pretty involved in team activities. And unless a trade is found for him before the start of the season, I think we can all envision him, as long as he's healthy, coming in and playing that same sixth man energy scoring guy off the bench that he's always been in his time in Houston, even back from the contending days with Harden, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook. And now even in these rebuilding days, he's now going to be coming off the bench for Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr. And so again, Gordon's role through this rebuild has been really, really consistent. And one thing about Gordon is that he's always going to be a professional. You know, he's going to play, he's going to give his effort every night. And so that's something that you don't need to worry about with Eric Gordon. And again, let us know down in the comment section what you feel Eric Gordon's future is with this Rockets team. If you want him to be traded, where do you want him to go? Let us know down in the comment section how you'd feel about that. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Once again, I'm Joel with Quest Entertainment, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.